Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Outside the Box with me, Nendo Boy. So for today, we will be unboxing and reviewing the amazing Spider-Man comic paint version action figure from Mafex. Okay, let's get to it. Let's first look at the box. So this is the box. So it has a big window here in the front. The box has this very comic-like design wherein you see this comic-like panel here where it has an illustration of Spider-Man that says Double Trouble. And then of course it's from Marvel. It's 6-inch and it's number 108 from Mafex, and it has this really cool photo of Spider-Man at the bottom, and then the title of the product, which is Marvel The Amazing Spider-Man. Now it says here this is the comic paint version. So Mafex already released a Spider-Man action figure prior to this one. It's basically the same action figure, the same sculpt, but the difference is this action figure has a comic-like paint. We're going to look at it some more or closer later, and I'll let you guys know what I think of the figure. So this is the front. It has a very sleek and colorful design. So the side panel has a few Spider-Man stylized poses of the action figure, Spider-Man logo over there, cool red and blue layout, and then the other side has the Spider-Man action figure again with the Spider-Man or the Amazing Spider-Man logo, and the back part shows some more dynamic poses of Spider-Man, the different types of head that's included in this action figure. There are some more information about the action figure here, some info on the website, logos, about Medicom Toy Corporation, and the bottom part shows some more details and information that I'm sure nobody reads, but it's important, especially this part. So this action figure is for ages 15 and up. It is an adult collectible and it's not a toy, so always do remember that. Now we've covered the box, it's time to bring Spider-Man outside the box. Okay guys, so Spider-Man is now outside the box. This is the action figure. We're going to discuss the details of the action figure later. We'll talk about the articulation, the paint job, and everything else. But first, I want to discuss everything that's included in this package because there are a ton of accessories included in this action figure. First, of course, it comes with the standard Mafex stand. I don't think I'm going to open this because I have several stands already, but let me show you the additional accessories. So first, it comes with extra head, wherein it's a Peter Parker head. So it's based on the comic version. I'll also show you how you can remove Spider-Man's head and replace it with this one. I think it's a decent sculpt. Peter Parker looks okay. I was really hoping for Peter Parker to look younger, but I think this face sculpt is really not that bad. So as you can see, because this is the comic version, there are some shadowing or shading on his head to give that depth on the head sculpt. And then it also comes with extra Spider-Man head. So I think the difference between this one and the one already attached on the action figure is the eyes. As you can see, the eyes here are much smaller compared to the one already installed in the action figure. Now, Spider-Man comes with different set of hands. So of course there's the close fist hand. There's also his signature web shooting hand. There's an open palm hand, and also it comes with this gripping hands wherein he can hold, you know, his web whenever he is swinging. Another cool feature of this action figure is it comes with this hand wherein there's a magnet, so you can attach Spider-Man on any metal surface. Same with that magnetized hand, Spider-Man also comes with this extra set of feet wherein it's also magnetized, so you can easily attach him on metal surfaces. And last, it comes with this removed mask wherein you can make him hold this mask whenever the Peter Parker head is attached on the action figure. Aside from the hands and the head accessories, it comes with a few web accessories. For example, this one, a web that can be attached to the wall, for example, and this web for web swinging, slightly long web shooting accessory, and a shorter web shooting accessory. So those are the accessories included on this action figure. Now let's look closely at the amazing Spider-Man. Okay, as I've mentioned earlier, this action figure is the comic version wherein it's similar to the first release of Mafex of the Spider-Man action figure. Now the difference here is actually the paint job, but the sculpt and the articulation is basically the same. Now this is my first Spider-Man action figure. I've done a lot of research on which Spider-Man I want to get. I was actually torn between this and the Homecoming Spider-Man, but I wanted to get this one because this reminds me of the 90s Spider-Man. I kind of wanted to get this first, and I was really curious with the comic version or the comic paint execution of this action figure. I know there are several people out there who is really not very excited about the comic paint, but looking at it right now, it looks amazing. For me, it looks great because you can see the details of let's say the muscles, the body of Spider-Man, and it's really looking amazing. I have some complaints on some of my action figures, and I'm really not very satisfied when it comes to the paint job. Sometimes it looks plain, so I'm really tempted on customizing some of my action figures and make the shading more dynamic and make the details of the action figure pop out some more. Now, I guess that concern was answered by this type of paint job. Also, if you look closely, even the shading on some of the parts of the action figure is, for me, well done. It doesn't give that very flat plastic look on an action figure. So far, I think it's a very unique style. Some people might like it, some people won't. For me, it really looks cool. For example, the head. For me, this is the Spider-Man that I'm very familiar with. It's the large eyes on that mask. I guess that's also one of the reasons why I wanted to get this particular action figure, because of the look. Looking at the web lines painted on his body, well, it's sculpted and at the same time painted. So for me, it highlights the lines just like in the comics. It gives more drama on the action figure. So in the end, it makes the action figure look less flat. Okay, now it's time to check the articulation. So I have super high expectations for this action figure because it's Spider-Man. So I'm really hoping that it has great articulation to really achieve, you know, some of the Spider-Man poses that we usually see in comics or, you know, in the movies, animation. So I have high expectations for you, Spider-Man. So let's see if the articulation will measure up to the articulation that I expected. So for the head, one thing I noticed already for the head is it's kind of wobbly. I don't know how I can fix this, but it has a joint on the neck, so you can actually tilt his head easily. And then there's, oh, there, it's removed right away. There's a ball joint for his head. I don't know if it's just a manufacturer default or it's really like this for all the Spider-Man action figure, but if you look closely, my head joint is a little curved. Maybe it's really this way for all the action figures. So you can make him look up since it's a ball joint, look down, and then rotate his head side, and then a little tilt there, aside from his neck really moving, so you can give more range of motion when it comes to his head. Now for his torso, there is an ab crunch here, so you can tilt him to this point, and there's a decent ab crunch here, so you can make him bend his torso forward up to this point. Now at the back, when you tilt him, you can see the Marvel logo. Now I don't have any issues with that, but I hope they can hide it some more. But yeah, I'm basically cool with that. And there's a torso hinge here, so you can swivel his body left, right, front, and even back some more. Overall, for the torso, I think that's a really good range of motion and articulation. Now let's look at the arms. So as you can see, there's a shoulder hinge there, so you can make his shoulder go front, and it can also tilt backwards. Now for the arms, it has a joint here, a shoulder joint, wherein you can actually turn it 360, move it up to this point. There's the ball joint, and there's a bicep swivel, and for the elbows, it's double jointed. So I think that's cool that it's double jointed, so we can really bend his arms up to this point. So far with what I've encountered, there are very limited action figures that has a double joint elbow, so that's really a cool articulation for me. Now for the hands, so it's a ball joint, so you can swivel his hand, tilt it forward, back, side, and even rotate it side to side. Okay, now for the legs, it has that drop down mechanism just like any Mafex action figure. You can make the action figure kick up to this point and tilt his legs back, and even make him split up to this point. Now for the knees, there's no leg swivel here, but for the knees it's also double jointed, so you can bend his legs up to this point, and then there. And then for the feet, it has a ball joint there, so you can tilt his foot up to this point and even tilt it backwards. And then there's a toe joint, so you can make him tiptoe. So can also tilt his foot sidewards, which is also always a cool feature for the articulation. What's great also is he can easily stand because of the joints on his feet. So now let's try Spider-Man with some of the other accessories. Okay, so removing his head is just easy. Just remove, the top head wherein you leave the ball joint, and you just place the other head and it snaps right away to the action figure. I'm just not sure about this head. There's a very light shading on his mouth. I don't know if it's just this action figure or all of the Spider-Man comic version is like this in terms of rendering, but for me it kind of looks weird. Now to change Spider-Man with the Peter Parker head, you have to remove the neck from the joint of the action figure and just attach the Peter Parker head there. And now he is Peter Parker. So the Peter Parker head also has ball joint there, so you can really tilt and articulate his head. So what's nice with this extra head is the neck kind of gives that illusion of it has the continuation of the suit from the body. It gives that seamless look from the bodysuit to the extra head. Now to change or to put the web slingers or the web shooters to Spider-Man is basically you remove the hand, and before you insert the extra hand, you put the accessory or the web on the joint before you attach the extra hand. Oops. There you go. And now you have Spider-Man shooting web. One of the extra hand comes with Spider-Man holding or gripping. So I think this is the web for that. You just place the web here and then you can make him hold the web. Okay, now it's time for size check. So he is ranging around 6.3, which is actually a decent size for an action figure. Now it's time for size comparison. So I'm just gonna compare him with some of the action figures that I have in the superhero line. So first, let's compare him with Cyclops from Mezco. Then this is Spider-Man in comparison with Logan from Marvel Legends. So as you can see, Spider-Man is a little taller than Logan. As you may know, I am more of a DC fan. So let's compare Spider-Man with my Batman, the DC Multiverse action figure. So as you can see, Batman is really, this action figure is really super tall compared to Spider-Man, which I think is still okay because Spider-Man is supposed to be lean, he's supposed to be a teenager, not that tall. So I still think that's a really good scale. And this is Spider-Man alongside my Catwoman from Mezco. So as you can see, Spider-Man is a little bit taller than Catwoman. Just for fun, let's put Spider-Man beside my favorite team, Justice League. So that's Spider-Man with Batman. See if I can make all of them fit. And then Spider-Man alongside Superman here. And then that's Spider-Man with Wonder Woman. Spider-Man scale with Flash. And then let's put Cyborg over here. And Aquaman over here. So there you go. That's how Spider-Man scales with the other superhero action figures from Mafex. Sorry, I don't have really that much Marvel action figures, but I have a lot of DC action figures. So this is how he scales with some of my DC action figure. Just for fun, let's look at Spider-Man alongside an SH Figure Art Stormtrooper, and this is Spider-Man together with Son Goku from SH Figure Art as well. The verdict. My verdict is, overall, it's an amazing, interesting, unique action figure. Because if you're a fan of the 1990s Spider-Man comics, this is the action figure for you because it brings so much nostalgia. The way the paint job is done is very unique and interesting, and you can do a lot of things with it, with your photography or the way you display the action figure. Now it comes with tons of accessories, so you can do a lot of unique poses with this action figure. Now the only complaint that I have is it has a couple of loose joints and inconsistencies with the paint, but overall it's an amazing Spider-Man action figure. I'm glad that this is my first Spider-Man action figure, and you know, so far I am not disappointed. Okay, that's it for now. What do you think of the action figure, and what do you think of this video? If you have any comments, any questions, or thoughts and opinions, please let me know by commenting them down below. I would love to hear from you guys. Which Spider-Man action figure is your favorite? And do you like this comic paint version? I want to know your opinion. If you like this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And if you're not yet a subscriber of my channel, please hit the subscribe button so you can watch more outside the box toy reviews and tutorials from me. I hope to see you guys on my next video. Always stay safe, be kind, be awesome. Jamata. Bye bye.